Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Well, welcome everyone once again to Kahului Hongwanji Buddhist Temple's YouTube Sunday service. Today's service is for September 5th, 2021. Today's service will just be our regular service, we call our family service. You've already heard the Kansho bell calling us to mindfulness, to listen to the Dharma, the Buddhist teaching. After that we will have the Vandana and Tisarana, and followed by the chanting of 12 Homages, which is the English version of Juni Rai. After that we will have the recitation of the Golden Chain of Love, and then I will share a Dharma message with you. Following the message, we will chant the Metta, the loving kindness meditation, and then sing the Nembutsu. And following that, I'll have some closing words and some announcements. So thank you for joining us today, and let's put our hands in together in Kansho as we begin our service and recite the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Bhutang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Gods and men all bow in awe to Amida the revered, in Buddha's wondrous pure land. Bodhisattvas gather round, golden form like the mountain king, steadfast like the elephant's pace. Buddha's eyes like the blue lotus. Thus I bow to Amida,
Buddha's form round like the moon, bright like 1,000 suns and moons. Buddha's voice like the nightingale. Thus I bow to Amida. Buddha's figure on Kanon's crown, adorned with wondrous features. Buddha subdues evilness. Thus I bow to Amida. Beyond compare, Amida's pure, virtue shining clear like space. All benefit from Buddha. Thus I bow to Amida. Bodhisattvas all renown, Maras to praise Amida. Primal vow made for our sake. Thus I bow to Amida. Golden ponds where lotus bloom, towers a throne of goodness. Buddha lives like the mountain king. Thus I bow to Amida. Bodhisattvas come afar, attaining true happiness. They revere the Buddha's face. Thus I bow to Amida. All life changes like the dew. We have no permanent self. Buddha teaches this law to all. Thus I bow to Amida. No evil in the Pure Land, and no fear of evil paths. Faithful hearts honor Buddha. Thus I bow to Amida, saving us through many ways. No tempters, no evil friends. Birth leads to enlightenment. Thus I bow to Amida. Amida, thus I have praised. Virtues boundless like the sea. These virtues shared with others, for birth into the Pure Land. Namandabu, 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 Namandabu. The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Golden Chain of Love. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love become bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Well, welcome once again. I'd like to share some thoughts now about the Buddha's teaching with you. Let's put our hands together in Kansho and recite the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So on September 21st here in Hawaii, people all over the state will be observing Peace Day. And at some temples and churches, bells will be rung, calling people to mindfulness, mindful awareness of the urgent need for peace. Peace is not just the absence of conflict, you see. It is really the condition where the needs of everyone are supported and the sanctity of every person is respected. Attaining peace will not come simply from the observance of Peace Day. Rather, it is hoped that Peace Day will awaken awareness in us to transform society in such a way that we put the happiness and the well-being of every being above the attainment of wealth and power and personal agenda and the acting out of our self-centered desires. So during this month of September, I would like to reflect on various aspects of the way to peace. Today I would like to reflect mainly about anger and judgment as obstacles to peace. You know, every day when you look at the news, something terrible and frightening is happening in the world. There is the continuing reality of COVID-19, this pandemic, the chaos in Afghanistan and other war-torn places, devastation caused by hurricanes and earthquakes, the sufferings of the homeless and the dispossessed, not to mention the cruel and brutal acts perpetrated by individuals who are filled with anger toward those who have different skin color or religion or any kind of differences. And other things too. Hearing all that bad news can make one feel despair and also sometimes anger. We have so little control over these happenings. We ask ourselves, why do people have to suffer so much? Why do I have to suffer so much? What did we do to deserve this pandemic and all these natural disasters? And we wonder, how can some people do the terrible things they are doing now? Why has the world become a place of such hatred and intolerance? Why do so many people find it impossible to accept others of different races or those who hold different religious or political beliefs? And then we also feel fear that such things could easily happen to me or to the people I know and love. Fear can create conditions that make peace impossible. It is really sad when you think about it, because this beautiful world we live in really does have enough for everyone to live a happy and decent life, even now with all our overpopulation and damage to the environment. If we can just live with gratitude, humility, and simplicity, many of the problems we are facing will begin to heal themselves. Of course, there will always be events of nature such as earthquakes and hurricanes, but our wasteful way of living is obviously making it worse. But people can live simply with gratitude. Many people who have very little in the way of wealth or possessions are still able to live happy lives, content with their family and friends and the simple pleasures that life brings day to day. Unfortunately, for many years now, so many people just cannot find happiness in their life and adamantly resist appreciating anything about life or about the other people they share this world with. They feel dissatisfied and are sure that everything that they don't like about their life is someone else's fault, and that it is their right to have everything they want and their privilege to punish other people who they perceive are the cause of their own unhappiness. There is so much hatred percolating in the world today as a result of these assumptions. As Buddhists who desire peace, we urgently need to address this. First of all, we have to admit to ourselves that Although we see that in others, it's also there in ourselves. Life is full of so many troubles and difficulties. We are all subject to sickness, growing old, losing loved ones, all kinds of hardships in our life. But the worst thing that can happen to a person is to find himself or herself completely incapable of gratitude, humility, tolerance, and understanding, and to disregard the pain and suffering of others. To feel this way is, in Buddhist understanding, the definition of being in hell. As Buddhists, we feel great compassion and sympathy for the victims of violence and hatred, but we should also feel deep sorrow for the suffering people who are so totally obsessed with themselves that the only way they can live is by expressing judgment and hatred of others. It is very difficult for any of us to avoid being judgmental or to feel anger or hatred when we feel wronged or hurt. Buddhism teaches that the mind of judgment is the cause of suffering. Of course, some actions are simply unacceptable. We can't rationalize them, no matter whether we are judgmental or not. Shinran Shonin himself wrote in one of his letters that something should never be done, should never even be thought of. However, the fact that anyone is incapable of committing bad actions due to causes and conditions does not change the fact that whatever anyone has done, life is meant to be about happiness, compassion, and understanding. Even the person who has committed the most horrible of actions can awaken to great compassion, can awaken to true reality. But the path to this awakening can only be revealed when we begin to see ourselves as we really are. There is a very important passage in the Tanisho that expresses this truth. In this passage, Shinran asks his friend and student, Yuian Bo, if he would without question follow Shinran's advice. Yuian Bo, who really revered Shinran, answered that he certainly would. So Shinran tells him, go out and kill 1,000 people for me right now. If you do this, your birth in the Pure Land, that is, your awakening, will be assured. Yuian Bo answered Shinran, you are my teacher, and you asked me to do this, so I want to obey you, but someone like me cannot find it in myself to kill even one person. So Shinran responded to him, then why did you say that you would do anything I asked you to do? You see, Shinran explained, there is a great lesson to be learned. If everything worked out the way we wish or we wanted, the moment that I said, go out and kill 1,000 people for the sake of your birth in the Pure Land, it should have been possible for you to do that. However, you don't have the karmic conditions to kill even one person. The conditions of your life have not made it possible. However, don't think that this is because you are a good person or that you have such a good heart that you could not possibly kill. Indeed, if the conditions were different, even though you had vowed never ever to kill anyone, you might easily kill 1 million people. These are kind of extraordinary words. Of course, both Shinran and Yuian Bo knew that killing even one person is not the path to enlightenment. It's simply the wrong thing to do. But Shinran is trying to teach his students something here, and this is what we really have to reflect on. You know, because the conditions have made it such that I myself have never killed anyone. And Shinran, this is what Shinran is trying to teach us. I may think I am better and can therefore judge others who have done so. This is really a paradox, you see, and something very important to take seriously, because sometimes our judgments of others may become the very condition for our being able to kill or cause harm to others. Isn't that what prompts many people to kill? They say those people are evil because they do such and such, they do evil and they kill others, and therefore they should be punished and destroyed. So it's okay, so I should do that. And so we create the mental conditions to destroy other lives. Such strong beliefs can become the cause for any of us to become killers. And even when, or any kind of evil, you see, it's just a symbol or referring metaphor for anything that we may do. And even we people who are mostly good or act mostly good and gentle and non-judgmental in our everyday life, or so we think we do, we might easily kill or do any kind of evil given the right conditions. Ordinary people who would never think of raising a finger against anyone may find themselves, for example, as a participant in a war, as a soldier in front lines, where they are forced to kill others, or kill or be killed, Or when that happens, actually, then no one will hold it against them or think that it was unvirtuous. They say he's doing his duty to his country, and he will be praised for his actions as a hero. What Shinran was trying to teach Yuyanbo was that people do not do good or evil merely out of free will or good or bad intentions. He wanted his student to realize what lies at the root of our existence as human beings. Shinran understood that all human beings, all living beings actually, need to take lives in order to live. We cherish the delusion that our taking of vegetable or animal lives for nourishment somehow doesn't count, so long as we don't kill human beings. But this sets up a false sense of virtue. I am able to think that I am good in comparison to others because I have never killed a human being. But the real truth is that I just never needed to kill a human being in order to survive. Isn't that right? It wasn't really my virtue. If I were faced with the choice of either starving to death or killing a human being, do I know for sure, can I honestly say that I am sure I would retain my virtue and goodness and not kill? Shinran insists, uniquely I think among most spiritual teachers, that Amida's working, the name Amida really refers to the great compassionate oneness of life. Amida's working is directed especially toward saving and liberating those of us who, because we need to survive and live, simply cannot maintain perfect goodness in every or even most circumstances. So Shinran said, even a good person attains birth in the Pure Land. It goes without saying that an evil person is also born there. If you or I had the abundance of compassion and discipline to cherish the lives and welfare of all beings regardless of personal sacrifice, then yes, of course, such goodness is already in the Pure Land. Such a person is already enlightened. But according to the Sutra, the Pure Land was actually made for those of us who don't know what we would do in any given situation. It is a place where all imperfect beings may be transformed beyond our limited selves and realize our oneness with all beings. Most of us, I think, when we see what is happening in the world today, feel really helpless. And in a way we are. None of us has the power to heal the ills of society, to change the minds of others, to awaken compassion and understanding and tolerance in people who wish to do harm. Yet it may be that we do have an even greater power. Through that power, though that power is not really our own. It is the power of humility. Time after time we see the same old scenario played out in the world. Violence followed by angry reactions, often equally or more violent. How often have the actions of a few angry people led to a full-scale war? Thinking about it, has the righteous anger expressed by one side, met by the righteous anger expressed by the victims, ever led to a real solution, to a real resolution? Has it ever led to true peace? The world has been at war virtually since World War I. That's a long time, with a few years of so-called peace in between. Have we solved the problems that caused the conflicts in the first place, or all the conflicts that have developed since? Have we solved those problems, or have we made them worse? Does anyone today feel truly safe or satisfied or secure? Is there any end in sight? Only the spirit of humility, which we learn from the Buddhist teachings, offers a real solution and a real path to peace. That spirit is to understand that I myself am equally capable of just what you have done to me, that I can never be in the right, but that I always have a share in the causes of the sufferings of others. With the stakes so high in the world today, with the odds against the livable future for the next generation growing slimmer and slimmer every day, maybe it is time for more of us to really listen, embrace, and share the Dharma's teaching, the Dharma teachings, which may offer humanity the only way of creating a tolerant, happy, and peaceful world for those who come after us. It is truly something to reflect upon. Thank you very much for listening. Let's put our hands together in Kansho and recite the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to me. May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo.
Namo
Well, thank you so much for joining us today for Kahului Hongwanji's online YouTube Sunday service. It's so nice that we are all able to gather together to hear the Dharma and to reflect together on this, the profound meaning the teaching has in our lives. And I just have a few announcements. For the duration of this month, for each Sunday, we will be having the YouTube Sunday services. But probably not the in-person service. So we'll have to see how that goes. But if we do have an in-person service, it probably wouldn't be until the fourth Sunday, the 26th. The 26th will also be our major service, so we will have it on YouTube, but we'll see if we have it in person. It is Ohigan, the time of the equinox. It's the fall equinox. And that represents or symbolizes the harmony of all things, the oneness of life, and it's a time to reflect on the perfection of the Buddha's mind, which we are embraced by, and we follow that path of perfection in our life of Nembutsu. On that Sunday, we will also have our family gratitude remembrance. September 21st will be Peace Day throughout the state, and many temples will be ringing bells, as I mentioned. We will have our bell ringing at 9:01 here outside at the temple. So if you're in the neighborhood, please stop by and join us to hear the bell ringing. We will be having a fundraiser, a food item sale. The tickets have already been sent out, and the pickup will be September 29th through October 2nd. This is a frozen item, so it can be picked up throughout that time. Call the office for more information. And then finally, we have the Nembutsu seminar at Wailuku Hongwanji Mission on November 13th and 14th. The speaker will be Reverend Ken Fujimoto. If you would like information about that, please call Wailuku Hongwanji. It is planned to have it be, of course, a live in-person event, but if the COVID situation is bad, of course, we'll have to retreat to having it some form of online. So maybe Zoom or something like that. So thank you so much for joining us today, and let's conclude our service by putting our hands together and reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida.